Simon, I want to kick it off to you. What was it? This story is fascinating. It's one that I never really heard of until watching the film, which I watched about an hour ago. It's incredible. What was the thing that shocked you the most about diving into the story of Maurice?
Uh, well, I suppose, oh, interesting question. What shocked me? I suppose I first heard about him, I read his obituary. So it shocked me he was dead. No, that shouldn't have shocked me because I was reading an obituary. Well, I couldn't believe, like you, I couldn't believe I hadn't heard of him before, you know, or like I couldn't believe this story hadn't been told before. And I was really pleased that it hadn't, because I grew up around golf because my dad was a greenkeeper, and it's something I keep very quiet because golf's really not very cool. And my wife hates it, and most people I know hate golf. And then I went, well, and I was making films at that time and doing comedy, so I'd got a career doing that. So I thought, here's a way that I can marry these two passions in my life. And so I was amazed that no one had made it, but really pleased that I could get to do it. And like you say, no one had heard of it, and actually there wasn't many facts around when I discovered it. And when I dove into it, the key was getting his autobiography, unpublished autobiography, which is 500 pages of his innermost thoughts and feelings. So I really was lucky there to get to know that character inside and out before I wrote the screenplay.
Greg, to you, what about the project made you want to direct it?
Well, a lot of things, really. Working with Simon, I've been a fan of Simon's work for a while. The script was just amazing. It really felt like a movie I would want to see, and that's half the battle, really, getting into something. I loved how funny it was, the heart, and I loved the character. He reminded me of somebody like I knew. It felt like a family member, but also kind of had a Rupert Pupkin kind of attitude about the world, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
I'm not sure which one of you can actually answer this particular question, but what about Mark Rylance made you decide that he was your Maurice?
Is Oscar? No.
Craig was the first to mention him. I when I was writing it, I only had Maurice because there's footage of Maurice, and so I only had him in my brain. But then when Craig said Mark, I went, that's a good idea.
Yeah, he just grounds it. And, we really wanted to lean into it. The script was very, very, very funny, and I loved that. And that's also scared me at the same time, because you've got to make people laugh. It's like inviting people to a swimming pool with no water if you don't. So leaning into the drama kind of helped that, I think. And he was, he's a character actor, so he grounds it completely. And he was amazing to work with. He was really fantastic. He had so much time and just so much energy, and and fantastic ideas, really.
Back to you, Craig. When you're directing something like this, which is very heartfelt, but also you have those comedy elements to it, how hard is it to try to blend those together to bring them to life?
Well, I suppose you just can't get too carried away with certain elements of it, really, and you've just got to hope that you lay the right foundations, that it feels seamless when it goes between all of them. Permission to laugh is always a good thing, but also permission to go surreal is also a thing as well, I feel. And it's the actors, just working with the actors, and people rarely talk about tone in the prep of it all, really. Certainly within like rehearsals, it's always just doing scenes. And my main reference for like comedy is always Punch Drunk Love. I find it a very, very funny film. It's a serious film, but it's very funny. And that was in the script anyway. So yeah, just making sure I didn't mess it up, really.
Simon, question to you. Throughout this entire process of getting in the head of Maurice and understanding this project and how heartfelt it was, what is something you learned about yourself working on the project?
That I'm a bit like Maurice Flitcroft. No, well, it has the whole film has a Flitcroftian sort of story to it, because it really has no right to be here. I mean, I wrote a very bad screenplay initially based on nothing, like the obituary that I mentioned that I read. And then I immediately went and spent about a month writing a screenplay based on like one newspaper article. And then, like Maurice Flitcroft, I thought, this is going to be, I'm going to win an Oscar. And then I quickly realized it was really bad. And so then went on this mission to find out as much as I can about him, and thankfully did that. So I'd recommend that to any screenwriters, is find out about your subject before you write the screenplay. And then to see it now, to be here in New York, it's, you know, a lot of the stories about how do you define success, and sometimes you get success and sometimes it fails, but it doesn't matter either way. You know, we all fail in the end because we all die. So don't worry about it. That's what I learned from myself, you know, that's what it means to me.
Simon, same question to you.
I suppose, what did I think with, what was the question again? Sorry, I've actually forgot the question.
What is something you learned about yourself while working on the project?
I was thinking that something I learned about myself. Oh, probably that I don't take enough risks, and I don't remember questions. Probably that I just don't take enough risks. What shocked me, you know, what actually shocked me about Maurice is just his determination. Like, it takes a lot. When the world tells you that you can't do something, it's really, especially these days, it's really hard to get back up and tell people that you can. So I do a lot of dreaming and a lot of daydreaming, but I don't do enough doing. So that's something I've learned.